Hello and welcome to the Daily Climate Show. Coming up, days of torrential rain brings massive floods to Sydney for the fourth time in 18 months. Experts link a glacier collapse that killed several hikers in Italy to global warming. And an important step for biodiversity. A new species of giant water lily is discovered at London's Kew Gardens. Hello and welcome to the Daily Climate Show, where we track the changes happening to our planet, hear from the people hit hardest by those changes and report on the race for solutions. So first, we start in Australia, where the effects of global warming are being felt once again after days of torrential rain have forced thousands of people from their homes. For some residents in Sydney and the surrounding areas, this is the fourth time they've faced flooding in 18 months, with extreme weather events that were previously a once-in-a-generation event becoming more commonplace. Or more than 30,000 people have either been asked to leave their homes or get ready to do so. And the new Premier of New South Wales has said that the number could increase as the week goes on. Dominic Perrottet also said that emergency services have made 116 flood rescues in recent days. Well, it's the fourth major flooding event in South East Australia in the last year and a half, with the weather in March and April causing at least £2.7 billion worth of damage. Well, our correspondent Nicole Johnston reports from Windsor near Sydney.
A rescue on the outskirts of Sydney. This family believed they could handle the flood. But the water rose so fast, before they knew it, the only way out was by boat.
Waking up at about 2 a.m. and seeing water creeping up to the house, it was difficult sleeping, but it's definitely scary, especially with kids.
Already this year, there's been multiple floods in New South Wales, and people are tired of it.
Flood fatigue. There was COVID fatigue, this is flood fatigue at the moment with me. That's what I'm feeling. The two words to describe it, I'm just tired of the floods.
More than 30,000 people have been evacuated from homes in and around Sydney, or have been warned to get ready for it. As yet again, Australia's east coast is battered by rain. A month's worth of it in only 2 days.
It's incredible. In the last 18 months, we've had 3 major flood events in this area, and we're talking about water depths getting way above head level in some areas, and multiple people having to be evacuated, animals needing to be rescued, and also people as well.
Wild weather saw a cargo ship stuck without power and drifting towards rocky sea cliffs. A helicopter rescue had to be aborted. Eventually, it was towed away from danger.
This major bridge on the outskirts of Sydney has been lost under a mile-wide river. And with the floodwaters still rising, people are bracing themselves for even more homes to go under.
So they're getting ready, moving whatever they can to higher ground or a shipping container. This is an area prone to flooding, but not this often. Keith Levy moved in here 6 months ago. Since then, 4 floods. The ground floor is under a metre of muddy water. He's given up bothering to pump it out.
Is this climate change?
I think partially. I think there's a lot of factors. I think dam management as well is cause of what's also going on, and also the human footprint we're putting on the area as well.
With barely time to recover from one flood, the region is hit with another. It's been called Sydney's new normal, but nothing feels normal about this. Nicole Johnston, Sky News, Sydney.
More than a dozen people are still missing after a huge chunk of glacier broke off in the Italian Alps yesterday. Several people are reported to have been killed when the ice fell from the Marmolada Glacier, unleashing a huge avalanche of ice, snow and rocks. Now, experts are pointing to climate change as a cause for the tragedy in Italy because it's had heat waves in recent weeks. Well, Sky's Becky Cotterill is here. Can you tell us the latest, Becky?
Well, we know that at least 7 people have died, 9 people have been injured, and it's thought at least 15 people are missing. And clearly the fear is that the number of dead could rise. Following that avalanche yesterday, a huge chunk of a glacier on the Marmolada Mountain broke off and thundered down the mountain slope to an area where people were trekking. And as you mentioned, the signs do point to climate change.
And I suppose, Becky, there is a worry that as the planet warms, more events like this are very possible.
Yes, scientists have said it is inevitable that this will continue to happen. This glacier and many others have been melting for decades, but recently temperatures have been unseasonably warm. Just in recent days, temperatures at the peak topped 10 degrees Celsius. And for this area, that is classed as extreme heat, and it contributes to ice melting. And obviously, in this case, this avalanche taking place, and it's thought that if global temperatures aren't kept below 1.5 degrees Celsius, then by the end of the century, all of Italy's alpine glaciers will have disappeared.
OK, Becky, thanks very much for the update. Well, let's get a bit more of today's climate news now. And there's been some arrests over those go-slow convoys on the motorways across England, Wales and Scotland, arranged by people protesting about the high cost of fuel. Latest figures show the average price at the pump reached a new high of 191.5 pence per litre on Sunday. Diesel was 199 pence per litre. This is all after climate change protesters stopped traffic earlier this year, and the government decided to bring in new legislation against what it called guerrilla protests. Well, also today, you would have heard the term greenwashing. More and more companies promoting that their products or practices are greener than they actually are. But how damaging is greenwashing? Well, the outgoing chair of the Environment Agency, Emma Howard-Boyd, says businesses need to be transparent about their net zero plans because otherwise it's creating a false sense of confidence about how the climate crisis is being tackled. E-cargo bikes and a team of on-foot delivery staff are set to replace thousands of Amazon delivery vans in London. Amazon will open its first micro-mobility hub in Hackney in East London as part of its efforts to cut its carbon emissions. The online retailer plans to deliver half of its UK shipments with net zero carbon by 2030 and all by 2040. Now take a look at this world record-breaking water lily. It was grown at Kew Gardens in London, and it's got scientists excited because it's been revealed as a species new to science. The famous water lily has grown at the Botanic Gardens for 177 years, and it's the first discovery of a new giant water lily in over a century. Researchers on the project have called the discovery fundamentally important in the face of fast biodiversity loss. And before we go, we want your climate questions, anything that's ever mystified you or whatever you want to get to the bottom of. If you scan the QR code on your screen right now, you can send us your questions, some of which will be answered on our new weekend climate show hosted by the environment broadcaster and author Tom Heap. And you'll be able to watch that on Saturday and on Sunday at 3:30 here on Sky News. Well, that's all from us for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.